What up, everybody? This is Stuart Knight, author of the books Marginalizing White Supremacy, Poetic Visions, A Sleep Mister for a Sister, and A Spirit the World Has Forgotten. And today, I want to speak on some old news, as far as the internet's concerned. And that's with the case of Bolton John and the little white girl that was found guilty for murder and sentenced to only 10 years in prison, which is to be expected considering all the level of forgiveness that was going on in the court. I think I did a video about black people and forgiveness, a while back, so just to rehash a little bit of that, the primary reason most black people practice openly and towards white people the concept of forgiveness is to attempt to allay what happened yesterday with one of the lead prosecution witnesses. This young brother was murdered just days after he gave testimony that may have put Amber Guyger away. And that act, that open act of forgiveness that black people display when it comes to absolving white people of guilt is intended to try to send a signal to white people of please don't harm us. And you see what happens. It has happened throughout history, over and over and over again. In fact, that is the reason why white people, racist white supremacist white people, actually ask if you as a black person are forgiving in being harmed by them, because it gives them the green light to go ahead and keep right on doing it. To keep right on doing it. Because to them, they feel as if they do not need to be punished in any sort of way for what they do. You understand what I'm saying? They feel that there should be no punishment because they have absolute freedom in their minds to do as they wish and whatever they want, specifically and especially to black people. So mind you, many of us as black people who practice the spiritual concept of Christianity, as has been told by many, do so from a slave-minded basis. The pie in the sky, you can only get your freedom after death, type of belief and ideology that comes from the Christian faith, as pertains to black people. Now, if you watch how white people utilize Christianity, they utilize Christianity for empowerment. Now see, we as black people have forgotten our spiritual connection to the natural world in the concept that forgiveness is shown once new life has been brought to this earth after there has been destruction in some form or sense. Not saying that all black people, need to rise up and start killing white folks. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that in the concept of regeneration or rebirth, there must be a tearing down of the old and a re-arising of the new. And in the tearing down of the old, the concept of forgiveness comes once the process of bring about a new comes. And as far as humanity is concerned, forgiveness is not for others who have transgressed upon you. As has been said, it is for yourself as a person so that you do not go out and commit the act of vengeance. And you allow, and it without forgiving, in a sense, yourself for not going out and practicing vengeance, because you accept the fact that what has happened you cannot change. either in the before or in the after. You cannot change it, so you accept it. Thus, in turn, you give forgiveness to yourself for not being able to change those things. It is not for people who have transgressed upon you. Get that through your heads. Anytime you forgive a person who has transgressed upon you, you do not allow karma, and karma is real, for those who choose not to believe in it. There are examples in your life that you could probably point to where you've seen some karma, but karma is real. You do not allow an avenue for karma to affect itself. So, when these public instances happens of white people, white supremacists, violating black people, and even in your private life, because many a days you go to work, and many a days you go to the stores, and many a days you just, if you're a black person in your everyday travels, you may encounter a white person who is in the process of practicing white supremacy just because they can, and they want to feel good about it. You're going to be violated. Don't give your forgiveness to them. Accept that you just outright just can't kill them without being punished. That's the concept of forgiveness you should take. I cannot kill this person for violating my human dignity simply because I'm going to be punished for it in a way that's not going to help me none or make me a better person at all. Now, you always keep the measure of self-defense. You always do that. But, when you cannot outright defend yourself violently, if you will, then you have to forgive yourself for not being able to and accept the fate that has been drawn. Now, take this as a reminder, black people, of openly forgiving those whites who murder and deprive you. It fuels their predatory attitudes to commit other acts of violence against you. So get your mind right, black people. Stop giving these white folks an outlet. All that forgiving does not set you better in the eyes of the forces that are greater than you. God, if you will. It does not make you a better form of humanity. It makes you weak. It makes you weaker. And if you cannot help but portray that weakness, to live that weakness, thinking it's going to make you better in the eyes of God, then one thing you should not do is stand in the way of those of us who are courageous enough to call these things out and face white supremacy and take the losses that we do just to earn or bring about justice for us all. You should find your ways to support, and if you can't verbally or financially or spiritually support those of us who do fight white supremacy, then sit back and live in your world of cowardice and say absolutely nothing. But I forgive white people while they putting the boot on your neck. So prayers go out to the young brother who was murdered for doing the right thing. We're going to try to keep fighting to make a better way so things like this won't happen. Things like this just won't keep happening to us as a people. Once again, this is Stuart Knight, author of the books Marginalizing White Supremacy, Poetic Visions, A Steep Mister for a Sister, and A Spirit the World Has Forgotten. Peace.